Today we're going to do some updates and clarifications on three other of some of my most popular videos. These three videos are some I've done over the last couple of years, and they seem to have the most traction, and people seem to like these three videos. So I've gone over a few things that have changed over the years that I just want to make sure everybody's got the accurate thing of how these particular items work on these three videos. So I'm going to start off with to show you a few things on each one, and we'll go from there. One of my most popular videos is where I added this 30 amp plug on the outside of my house, and don't really have any clarification on this particular video, but I do want to say a few things because I get a lot of comments about it. And I purposely did not show a lot of detail of what I'm doing on this particular video because I just wanted to show that it was possible to do this if you have electrical knowledge and you know the codes in your area. I get a lot of people that give me a hard time about how I didn't do it right, or I didn't wire it properly, or my codes are wrong. And basically what I want to show you is I've even had people complain about the vinyl siding on the side of my house. Is like, well, I should have cut a piece out and put it up against wood. And if you look, you know, my normal service is actually on the outside of the vinyl. It's not a big deal. So what I really wanted to show is that you can do this. This is something that if you have some knowledge of electricity, and that's the key right there. If you don't know anything about electricity, you have no business in anything to do with electricity. But if you know what you're doing, and I show you a few things, I show you the breakers that you can use to add a few extra breakers in your box, and show you how to put this particular box on the outside. And in my case, that's really simple because right inside of here is my main panel, so the wire goes straight through right into the panel. I don't have to worry about any kind of sleeves. If that was a long ways, you'd have to do different things depending on your area. Like I say, I didn't get into the details of that because I don't really want people to mess with this if they're not comfortable doing it. In particular, on this particular video, I think sometimes I just get people that get jealous because you got a lot of hits on a particular video, and I've had people give me a hard time about the panel, the way it's wired. Well, this house was built in 2006, and if you look in here, you'll see it was inspected properly. It was done by code in my area. That's the code key right there, is in my area. This is the code. Again, I have stickers that tell me this was wired properly in 2006. Now, has the code changed since then? Probably has. But like I say, sometimes you just gotta know what you're doing a little bit and add those. Like I said, I wanted to show how you can add breakers. I didn't have an extra spot, and I stacked them a little bit here and added them. I'm using a different brand. A lot of people give me a hard time about using a different brand. Does it fit? Does it work? Yes. Like I say, if you don't know about electricity, don't be doing this. So we'll move on to the next. So the next thing that is a popular video that I have is about the inverter. I did a thing on the inverter that are in these GeoPros. So we have a 1,000-watt inverter on these. I did this several years back, and there's a few things I want to say that I may have misspoke on a few of those issues. And one of them was basically when you're using that inverter, you're using, whether you've got anything plugged in or not, you're using 100% of, in other words, whatever that inverter is. 1,000 watt, you're using 1,000 watts of that inverter, and that is incorrect. My main point there is that if you're not using that inverter, if you're engaging the inverter and you're using these plugs over here, then use your plugs, but then at the end, go ahead and just go ahead back over here again and turn off your inverter, because it does use some power just keeping that inverter running. I said in that particular video that it uses 100%, and it doesn't do that, but it does use some power just sitting there waiting to be used. So it's best just to go ahead and turn off the inverter whenever you're not completely in use, and like I say, just run off your 12 volt. So that's the main thing I wanted to stress on that particular video. That's all I have on that video, and we'll move on to the next. So another one of my videos is very popular, is my awning video, and there's not a whole lot of videos out there that show you how to just do some maintenance on this awning. And in my video I showed you that I actually lubed up the ends down here where the shaft spins, and the same thing down here on this end. And you can lube these points down here. And again, another one is, I want to tell you, make sure that piece of plastic that covers those wires is put back. You can see mine's popped back out again, so I have to shove that back in place. And another thing that I didn't mention in that video, which I will mention on this one, is people tell me, and I have no idea why, but water gets inside of these all the time. And I mean, no matter what, it seems like you have a big downpour, water always gets inside here. So if you ever have a nice day where you can just get out to your camper, if it's at your house like mine is, like I say, I always take mine on a nice day and I just go ahead and let mine out and let it dry out a little bit, especially if I know I've had a big rainstorm or something. Because if you leave that curled up and it's been a couple of weeks, you'll start getting this mildew going in here again, and I'm going to have to do more cleaning on mine again because I'm starting to get that mildew build up. But I always let it out on nice days, let it dry out real good, and then put it back in. Is I didn't take this end cap off, and I've heard several viewers say that they actually got up here where this motor is, and mine has this little clip. You can hit this clip right here and it comes apart. Some people says it actually takes the screw off, and there's that shaft gear mechanism, and you'll see the motor up in there. Now I'm not sure, and this is something I'm going to ask you all as viewers, if you know, is I'm not sure what this little gadget is. Let me know if you know, because I've looked at everybody, Lippert site, can't seem to find. This little thing comes off here, unscrews, and if you look in here, it's got a seal to keep that water out of there, but it has a screw in there, and I don't know, I've heard people say they have another location where they put lubricant in here, and I haven't found it. And again, if you know where a lubricant is put in here, let me know. And I'm not sure if this is an adjustment or what, but if you know what that is, leave that in the comments, because I really want to know what that is, if that's where you add a lubricant or if that's some kind of adjustment. But this is something you want to check on your maintenance. You definitely want to make sure that that piece of plastic is seated on here properly. What I mean by that is this little cover that goes on here. Make sure it's on there properly. If it's a screw that maintains it or holds it in place, make sure that that is actually engaged, because I've heard of people loosen that cover. And once you do that, you have a lot of debris that gets into that area. So that's all I have on this this video. Like I say, I want to go over those 3 very popular videos and a couple of clarifications, and asking you all a question about what this particular thing is on this awning. So we'll see you again on another one.